Okay, the recording is on, and I'd like to welcome you all to the monthly fellowship assembly from Rotary Club Canada 1. And we'll go around and everybody can introduce themselves. My name is Peter Denoy, President-elect, and spending most of my time in the Dominican Republic. Next in line would be Tammy, please.
You want, oh, sorry, Peter, I was reading something.
Tell us who you are.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was deep in thoughts.
And no lying.
Okay.
Hi, Tammy from Red Deer, Alberta. Happy to be here.
Okay, Kitty.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kitty Butchko. I am currently in Anguilla. I am an associate member of Rotary E-Club of Canada 1, and I will be returning to Canada, to Sarnia, Ontario, in a week and a half.
All right, thank you. Janet, where are you today?
I'm still on the island. I'm semi-stuck here. I live in Georgian Bay. Janet's dead. I live in Georgian Bay. We got a scoot to bring us out here about a week ago and dropped us off, and we'll be getting out when the ice is out, and it's not out yet. So
okay, but you can live all right.
Oh yeah, we've got electricity, obviously, internet and everything, and no, we're good. We're good.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming. Doug.
My pleasure.
Doug Dyer. You're muted.
You're muted, Doug.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Yeah, Doug Dyer, charter member of the club, past president. I'm currently an alpaca farmer in New Zealand, and will be in New Zealand until June 1st, and then back up to Thailand.
All right, thanks very much. That you glad you could make it. That you have a good connection, and good to see you. Next is Angel. Angel, can you tell us all a bit about yourself?
Yes, good evening. Well, my name is Angel Blanco. I'm a prospective associate member of your club, and I am an active member of the Rotary Club of Majadahonda here in Spain. Yeah?
That's good. Your classification talk will come later. Yes.
Okay.
We're glad to have you. Fantastic.
So I have the time to prepare it.
Yes, we will get time to prepare. Awesome. Thanks. Welcome. Ethan.
Hello, Ethan Oatman here. Member.
Can't hear you very well. Your mic?
Ethan Oatman. I'm an associate member, and I'm in Yellowknife at the moment, but I live in Calgary.
All right. Thanks coming in from Yellowknife. Jim Kenyon.
Hi, Jim Kenyon. I'm in beautiful downtown Whitehorse, Yukon, and a refugee from Boston long ago.
Oh, you had to bring that up. Yes, okay.
Actually, I did 20 years in Ontario, and I escaped during the Ray regime.
Awesome. Okay, Biswanath, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Biswanath Chakravorty, member of Rotary E-Club of Canada 1, and I live in Yellowknife and spend time in different places, but mostly in Yellowknife. So, right. And spend time in different communities as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Welcome. David Warrett.
Yep, David Warrett. I'm a resident in Cochrane, Alberta.
That's it?
Well, if you want to, I didn't want to do a classification talk here. John, a member, past president, Rotarian for 25 years.
Just about past everything, right.
Yep, past everything.
Welcome, David. Jean-Michel.
Good afternoon or good morning. Jean-Michel Crepin. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. I'm the treasurer of the E-Club. And right now I'm on the cell phone because my computer refused to start. This is technology for you. Anyways, nice I can join you anyway and have a good meeting together.
Well, that's how nice it is with Zoom. You can, be on your computer or on your phone, whatever. You always have a backup. Nelson, can you introduce yourself too?
Certainly. My name is Nelson Scott. I'm, as Jim said, I'm the Communications Public Image Chair for the district currently, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Edmonton Riverview. And before that, I was a member of both clubs in Fort McMurray at one time or another.
Okay, thanks so much. We're really pleased to see you. James Ferguson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Ferguson, one of the other Jims in our club, charter member and president for the last third of this year. So we split the year up, David and Bruce and myself. So welcome, everybody.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much. Bruce Kleberger.
Sometimes known as Robin Hood, coming to you from Sherwood Forest, Nottinghamshire. David Werrett, how did I do with the pronunciation there?
Oh, very good, sir. Very good.
All right. And in terms of being passed, yes, I passed everything except that particularly noxious pepperoni I had last night.
I'm so glad we are a virtual meeting today, then. That's excellent. Okay, next. Gary Froude.
Hi,
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Gary Froude. I'm a charter member of the Club of Bracebridge Muskoka Lakes, past president, honorary member, and looking forward to spending some time with you fine folk.
Thank you. Welcome, and glad you could make it. Here, Bryce, who hasn't got anything turned on. And this is our audiovisual specialist, so who knows?
I'm currently on the road right now. I just left Booster Juice and I'm on my way to a car wash. I just took my daughter to swimming lessons, and I'm your AV guy.
Okay, good. Glad you can't show us the dirty car. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, I got back, get to Judy, but I'm not going to let Judy introduce herself because she will.
But first of all, we have one
later.
more.
But there's yes. She has somebody
one
with
more
her.
Rotarian, Ron.
So who you got there?
So, Ron Brown, Rotarian.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, hi everybody. Ron Brown, of course. Judy's pilot and driver. I'm actually here in Ahihi, where I'm a member of the Strathcona Club. So we live in just outside of Edmonton at Pigeon Lake and enjoy our winters here in beautiful Ahihi, Mexico.
So when are you guys coming back?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday coming back. Well, I am so impressed with our variety of geographical locations at this particular meeting. And there's one individual that would have liked to be here, but has been unable to, and she will say something.
Good evening, fellow Rotarians. I'm very disappointed that I'm not able to attend this evening's fellowship assembly, as I, at that particular time, will be at the airport in Vancouver, boarding a plane to Amsterdam. I insisted on doing this introduction for Judy, as Judy is a very dear friend of mine. And she was kind of my mentor when I became district governor. And Judy was the very first female district governor in our district. We have spent numerous times together talking Rotary and, of course, talking family and other wonderful things. And I'm very happy that we have Judy in our club. And I look forward to Judy's presentation via YouTube. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks very much, Ali. And she was trying to make it to see, but obviously they're boarding or somewhere like that at Vancouver Airport. So with no further ado, I'd like then to give the floor to Judy to give her classification talk. And so we'll see how it goes, because I got some pictures to show as we go, but I'm quite sure it will not be a problem. Judy.
Hey,
go ahead.
It was so nice of Ellie to make that lovely introduction. Thank you, Ellie. Wish you were here. And it's so great to have so many people online tonight. I think it's, well, more than I've ever been at any other meetings that I've been at. It's wonderful. We're here still, as we said, in Lake Chapala at our home in Ahihiik, and we're really enjoying it here, but we have to go back home. You know, we can't stay too much longer. So my talk will be in 3 segments. I'll start with personal, family, and business, then Rotary involvement, and then travel and special interests. So on the personal side, I was born and raised in Edmonton, and I'm the eldest of 3 children. I have a brother, Len, and a sister, Lori, and I think you have a picture of myself with them. They're ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Great. There.
Does
So
that
that's
show,
my lovely sibling.
That shows okay?
Yeah, it's perfect. Little bit fuzzy, but it's all right.
Yeah, but that's how it came.
It's okay. My brother now and his new bride now live here in Ahihiik full time. They moved here from San Diego last summer. And my sister and her family all live in New York City. And this was taken when Lori and Terry came to visit all of us in November. I married Peter Harcourt in 1968, and we had 2 children, Rick and Christy. I was a legal assistant, and Peter was an executive with Hewlett-Packard. We were transferred to Montreal in 1972, and then to Toronto in 1974. We missed Edmonton, so decided to come back and open our own business there, an employment agency in 1976. Our business, Harcourt and Associates, grew quickly, and we handled permanent and temporary placement as well as executive search. Peter ran the temporary division, and I ran the permanent division. And I also conducted searches for senior people. During the beginning years in business, I attended the U of A and eventually received my professional designation, CPC, Certified Personnel Consultant. Over the years, I served on many boards of professional associations, including Alberta Women Entrepreneurs, and I was on that board for several years. Peter passed away in 2011. I retired from my business in December of 2013. I married Ron Brown in 2014. He was formerly with the Edmonton Downtown Club and is now with the Edmonton Strathcona Club. And he's the founder of the company Shippers Supply. So we have a large family now with our children and grandchildren. Think of it, the next picture. It was a picture taken this December at Ron's big birthday party. So I have son Rick and his wife Kathy, and they have 2 children. They're the ones that are, and she's wearing an orange sweater, and the 2 little kids on my lap are Joshua and Sarah. And then I have a daughter, Christy. She's second from the left in the back row. And Christy just completed her master's degree in social work, and she teaches at Grant MacEwan University and Northwest in the social work program. And her daughter, Jenny, next to her is 23. Ron has a son, Vince, who's on the far left, and Vince works with Shippers Supply. And he has a son, Nathan, who wasn't with us that evening. Ron also has a daughter, Heather, and she would be the second from the right, and her husband, Sandy, and then their son, Ian, and they also have a daughter, Ingrid, and they all live in Nelson, BC. So that's about it for my personal part. The next part is Rotary information. So my classification is executive recruiting. I joined the Edmonton Riverview Rotary Club in February of 1992. I was the first woman member. At that time, there were very few clubs in Edmonton that wanted to have women, but the Riverview Club was actively seeking women members, so I was warmly welcomed. Peter had been a member of the Edmonton Downtown Club, so I knew a bit about Rotary. In 1992, our kids were in university, and I had time to get involved with a service organization. My classification at that time was personnel consulting. I was president of my club in 1998-99, assistant governor in 1999 to 2002, district governor-elect 2002-03, and district governor in 2003-04. And as Ellie said, I was the first woman district governor for our Rotary district. It was quite an experience being the first woman DG. Previously, in many cases, when DGs visited clubs, their wives were entertained by the wife of the president of the club. Almost all the clubs at that time had male presidents. They didn't know what to do with Peter. They couldn't invite him to have tea with the other wives. As it turned out, Peter came with me to the meetings and the meeting with the boards, and that was all right with everybody. It was a wonderful year and so heartwarming visiting all of the clubs and seeing what Rotarians were doing everywhere in our district. Another exciting thing that happened that year for me, I was nominated as Global's Woman of Vision, which was quite an honor. And that was for being a trailblazer as the first woman to lead the Rotary district. The year after I was district governor, I was asked by RI to be a Rotary Foundation alumni coordinator for our zone. I did that for 2 years, and during that time had the opportunity to visit RI headquarters in Evanston and liaise with other RFACs from districts from all around the world. I transferred from the Edmonton Riverview Rotary Club to the Rotary E-Club Canada 1 in November. Ron and I, because we spend our winters in Mexico and that we now live in Pigeon Lake the rest of the year, so joining an E-Club made sense at this time for us with our lives. Over the 27 years that I've been a Rotarian, there have been many service projects that have been dear to my heart. With the Riverview Club, we did many inner city school projects, including sponsoring YONA, the Youth Orchestra of Northern Alberta. I've been involved for many years with Project Amigo in Cofradía, Mexico. Peter and I found out about it in 2001 when the founders, Rotarian Ted Froude and his wife Susan, came to Edmonton, visited our club, and told us all about it. We always spent our winter vacations in Manzanillo, so the next winter we made a trip to Cofradía, which is an hour and a half from Manzanillo, to visit it in person. After that, we participated in work weeks and service projects several times in subsequent years. Ron and I connected because of Project Amigo. We both went on a work week in 2012 and again in 2014. I've always sponsored a Project Amigo student, and I was very happy to find out that Project Amigo is one of the international service projects that our E-Club is involved with. Ron and I support this young lady, Marlon. She's 16, and we've been sponsoring her since she just turned 12. I'm on the Project Amigo Canada Society board, and I'm now the liaison for Project Amigo with our E-Club. And our E-Club sponsors a high school student, Laura. You got that one of Laura? Yeah. And there's a picture coming up with the members of our club and Laura. Ron and I, oh, here it comes. There. Of course, Laura's the young lady in the middle. Ron and I participated in the PDG DGE work week in February this year. It was so wonderful to share our pet project with our Rotary colleagues. And I think you've got a picture of us all sitting there in the lovely Project Amigo Hacienda having a meal together. And you can probably recognize some of those PDGs. Ron and I are also supporters of an orphanage in Manzanillo called Casa Hogar Los Angelitos, which was founded by Rotarian Nancy Nystrom. The Manzanillo Rotary Club is very involved with that project. Every year, Ron is Santa for the 80 children at the orphanage, and he's done that since 2012, Christmas 2012. And each child, all 80 of them, get a present and they sit on Santa's knee. And it's just really, really heartwarming for both of us. When we are in Mexico, Ron and I attend Rotary meetings here, and we do participate in the club projects for the Rotary clubs in the area. Although this is a classification talk, I think that my classification should be Rotarian rather than executive recruiter. In fact, we are truly a Rotary family. My son Rick is a Rotarian with the Edmonton Strathcona Club, and formerly was past president of the Edmonton Urban Spirits Club, where he met his wife Kathy Olson, who was secretary at that time. So another Rotarian. Kathy's dad, Randy Olson, is a Rotarian with the Sherwood Park Club. Randy and May Olson in that picture with our mutual grandchildren. They're our travel partners. We travel all around the world with them, and we do makeups together whenever we travel, whenever the opportunity arises. Ron's daughter, Heather Love, is a Rotarian too, and she's with the Nelson Rotary Club. So truly a Rotary family. So that's my Rotary part. Now I'll talk about travel and special interests. Ron and I have traveled to many places. Internationally, we've been to Thailand. We went to the RI convention in Bangkok, China, Germany, Italy, Holland, Ireland and Scotland for our honeymoon, Peru, Brazil for the RI convention in Sao Paulo, South Africa, all over Mexico, and we've been to 22 of the 31 states in Mexico, Alaska, the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and including Yellowknife, Aklavik, and Inuvik. Ron had a Mooney Ovation airplane that he used for business. He has his personal or his commercial pilot's license. So the plane took us to many places throughout the States and Canada. He sold the plane last summer because he sold the business and no longer needs it. On our motorcycle, a Honda Trike, we've been all across Canada and back through the United States. Been to San Diego along the Pacific Highway, been to Sturgis, and many other places. We have a tent trailer that we pull behind our trike. And so we really have lots of great adventures camping. We also have a Kawasaki Vulcan motorcycle in Mexico that we take on short trips. Just short trips because it's not that comfortable for me to sit in the back of that one. We get around Ajijic in our Yamaha ATV, which does very well on the cobblestone streets. So that's our Jeep and our ATV. So that's where we've been. This year, we're going to Paris on the inaugural WestJet Dreamliner flight in May and returning on the Dreamliner from London after 10 days. In late summer and for early fall, we're going to Russia and Scandinavia. We're going with Randy and May Olson again. We're members of the International Fellowship of Motorcycling Rotarians and the International Fellowship of Flying Rotarians. So that's pretty well what I have to say. In conclusion, I'm very happy to belong to RECCO, and I'm looking forward to working with Peter and our new board in the coming year. That's it.
Thank you.
Any questions for Judy?
He definitely is a Rotarian, though.
Yeah, you have a question, Angel? By all means.
No question.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No.
I enjoyed that. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Judy.
Okay, you're welcome.
And so, you know, what is the long-term plan? I mean, you're going next year to France, you said, and beyond that, you have any other ideas yet?
No, just May to France and then Scandinavia and Russia. And then no plans after that other than to be in Mexico probably for 6 months of the year. We love it down here. So, and we do, when we're in Mexico, we always travel. We always like to go and see all places we haven't seen before in Mexico.
Great.
All that we have
Awesome.
planned.
Okay, thanks again, Judy, for a great classification talk. And I am also looking forward to working with you in the upcoming year and everybody else on the board. Thank you again. Next, we have something that hasn't been announced, a little surprise, and not really a surprise. So I'd like to give the floor to Tammy at this particular time. Tammy.
Thank you, Peter. Well, it's my privilege to introduce Gary Froude tonight to all of you. He's, as he mentioned in his intro, he's an honorary member of the Bracebridge Club in the Muskoka area, where Gary has held some different positions. He's been involved with Rotary since 1996, and he's been a president, I believe, a secretary, on committees for study exchanges, and a very worthy patron of the arts in the Muskoka region. And he and his wife, I believe, who's an artist, he told me earlier today, they're involved with it's called the Muskoka Chautauqua. Did I pronounce that right, Gary?
You did wonderfully.
Good. That's great. So we're really excited to have you on board, and I'm going to turn the floor over to our president, Jim, for your induction. So excited.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. So Gary, you've been selected by the members of the Rotary Club 1 of Canada 1 to become one of us. Membership in Rotary is an honor and a privilege, with corresponding duties and obligations, including service on club committees. You will be expected to participate in the E-Club avenues of service and to attend this club's meetings regularly. Because you represent a classification, it is your duty to tell us about your vocation and to bring the ideals of Rotary to your business or profession. The community will know and judge Rotary by your actions. Therefore, membership in our organization must be limited to those who possess the qualities that will further the goals and ideals of Rotary. You have been chosen for membership in our E-Club because we are confident that the image and ideals of Rotary are safe in your keeping. We all look forward to the enrichment of our lives, as well as that of your own, by your association in this, the world's oldest, largest, and finest service organization. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you as a fellow member of the Rotary E-Club of Canada 1. And congratulations. Let's have a little round of applause.
All right, awesome.
Okay, I believe, can you see the certificate on screen, everyone?
That's good.
That's great. And I will be contacting you, Gary, with sending you a membership kit and some more information. So we'd like to ask Janet to say a few words, your sponsor.
Hi, everybody. Our club will be a better and stronger one with the addition of Gary. He has been an inspiration to the people, the Rotarians of Bracebridge, Muskoka Lakes, and all of District 7010. And I'm really happy that he's joining us. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Okay, Gary, we have lots of time. Can you tell a little bit more about yourself before you just take everything away for your classification talk? There should be a few interesting things that you can tell us. Look forward to hearing about that right now.
Well, geez, I didn't know you were expecting me to speak.
That's why this is a test. This is really a test. You know.
Or sing.
After 8 o'clock and the single malt is not here yet.
Oh, then you better order it.
I guess I better.
Time to complain.
I'm honored to be part of this club for sure, and I'm looking forward to the fellowship of it. As you probably don't know, but I'm laying in bed here, and I probably spend half the day in bed because I'm just lazy. Actually, I was hit. I was hit with a virus 6 years ago that they don't know what it was, and I was living a normal life, and all of a sudden I am now 100% dependent. I'm a total quadriplegic on life support system. I spend probably 12 hours a day in a wheelchair going to meetings, trying to redesign the delivery model for healthcare in Ontario, and the rest of the time I'm just wandering around, living the Via Loca.
All right. Thank you very much, Gary. We are impressed to have you with us, and I will get back to you later. I got a great idea for what you could help us with next year. So, but I won't do that right here. I'll connect with you later.
Wonderful.
Okay, awesome. Look forward to that. We have lots of time for fellowship, and I thought this would be a good occasion. Not everybody here heard anything and everything that Doug Dyer told us. So, Doug, would you mind telling us and several people that haven't really seen you for a long time about your recent travels? Because I know you are never short of words.
Okay. Yeah, give me the microphone.
Yes.
I guess I'm officially the club's nomad. It's 3 years ago that Joanne and I officially pulled up anchor in Vancouver and hit the road. We had a one-way flight to Nicaragua, and not too many preconceived notions as to where we would end up. Since then, we've been in 14 different countries in 3 years. We are able to travel very frugally, and we become immersed in the community because we actually house it for a living. So we're not living, but we're full this beautiful farm in New Zealand, and the owners have gone away, and we come and look after their pets. It's given us amazing opportunity. The world is really opened up to us.
Doug, can you hear me? Yeah. Could you turn off your picture, because your sound is not very
I've got
good. That may help.
Sorry, Peter. I've all of a sudden my internet's gone kind of slow on us, but you know, the world has really opened up to us since we got into what we're doing. We've had amazing experiences, met all kinds of wonderful people. We get to look after other people's pets, and it's been a real pleasure learning more about dogs and alpacas, and we just have a lot of fun. We don't see ourselves stopping anytime in the near future. It just keeps on going. Our biggest issue, Joanne and I, is where do we want to go next, and what amazing country do we want to experience next? Back to what Judy did. We met Judy in a year ago, I guess, and I wrote her meeting one of our favorite places. So from here we go to Thailand for 4 months, and then we'll be in Aik for probably the winter, and then either South America or Europe, depending on what comes available. That's me.
That's good, Doug. You're in and out type of thing with the sound. So,
Yeah.
but I think we got.
Well, I'm very sorry.
We got to. Yeah, that's not your fault.
Yeah, it just went wonky just in the last couple of minutes here.
Yes.
New Zealand's still learning about. It's a small country.
Right. Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Peter, one more quick word. We were in Christchurch for almost a month, and left there just a week before the mass shooting, and we just are I guess hard to find words for it. This country is not. It's an amazing country in so many ways, and it's not diverse. It's quite unifying in a way. Like there's a lot of different cultures here, but it feels like one community. And it was devastating. But the country, the new Kiwis know how to live together, and it's going to rebound big time.
Great, thanks.
Can I,
yes.
Would it be okay? I just wanted to introduce my husband to everybody. He wanted to come. This is Dan Herbert, my husband, and he wanted to come in and say hi and congratulations to Gary because we know him from our District 7010.
All right.
Gary, how you doing?
Good.
Gary and I go back quite a ways. We worked on a district conference together, and I think it was Gail's birthday the other day, so happy birthday to Gail, and congratulations, Gary, on joining the club.
Okay, glad you could join us as well. Now, last but not least, our youngest member, can we see her again? Because if you're going to show her off, Bryce, then you can't just get away with it that easily. Okay, there.
Still in the car wash?
Can you unmute and then maybe she can say something, or no, is it too noisy?
You say hi.
Hi. Hi. Yes, and she joins us on Thursday mornings too, quite often to have breakfast with us. Awesome. Okay, Bryce, thanks very much for bringing her along as always.
Yeah, she just finished swimming, so.
Okay. Yep. Very good. All right. So anybody has any other questions to some of the speakers or anything like that? We have, open floor. And if we want to say something of interest or of not of interest, I don't care. Let's have, just some basic fellowship with this, terrific crowd of variety and all over the world, as a matter of fact. Anybody
Peter?
has anything? Yes, Tammy?
I do. So I don't know all of you, or you may not know that I work with the RCMP. I'm an operations manager in the communications center, and I'd like to give a shout out to all of our operators, dispatchers, call takers. It's National Communications Week. So we as managers have this morning, we've been cooking breakfast every morning because we have 4 teams, so we have to hit every team. And we've had family day yesterday. Lots of people came in. Tomorrow it's coffee time. A lot of the police officers will drop by, and they've sent flowers. I mean, these folks that do this job, it's a very challenging career, and they're your first point of contact. If you call an emergency center or emergency responder of any kind, they are amazing people. Takes a year to get through the training process to have them on the job, and I can't say enough good things about them. It's a very rewarding but challenging career. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers when they're doing their job. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome, Tammy. Yes. Somebody else wants to, bring up something? Any more questions, stories?
I just wanted to ask Judy and Ron, you used to live in Edmonton, right? And then you built a house at Pigeon Lake?
Yes, we did live in Edmonton, and we didn't build a house. We bought a house that was already built, but we renovated it and then moved in October. So now we sold our house in Edmonton, and we now live at the lake. And we haven't lived there for very long since we came here shortly after we moved in. But yes, we live at the lake.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's completely done now, and when you come back,
hopefully I'll be fine when we get back, except we have a garage full of boxes because we actually moved
everyone?
most of our stuff. We moved just before we came here, and we haven't unpacked everything yet. So we know what we'll be doing when we go home.
Don't worry, I have some boxes from my last move.
Too much junk.
How about that hanger?
Oh yeah. We also have a hangar out at Cooking Lake Airport that now that the plane is sold, we will be selling it. You own your hangar, and it's like a co-op. What do you call it? Condo. But hangar is full of all of Ron's toys, lots of them, and lots of storage which we don't have room for any of it at our house because our house is a little bit smaller than the previous house. So we have to find something to, our old Rotary Club, Edmonton Riverview, I understand is having a big garage sale in July, 13th and 14th, right, Nelson?
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yes, so I think that we'll be having lots of items in that garage sale.
Well, that's not at our place. I'm sure that the Bussos will welcome it. People are already sending stuff over, which was sooner than we expected it.
Yeah, I don't know where they put everything.
But so there's a new term there, hanger sale, right?
Yeah,
it's not a garage sale, a hanger sale. So.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, well.
Okay. Good. And can we hear something more from the north? We got 3 people more or less from the way north. What's going on in the north? Viswanath and Ethan is there now, and Jim Canyon. Anything new and exciting up there? Like
maybe Jim can tell us about his muffin project.
Oh, the muffins, the great muffins. We started out many years ago doing sandwiches and all of this stuff. But our wonderful health department, in their wisdom, decided that was way too dangerous to actually give sandwiches to anyone. So we now do muffins. And so the first Saturday of every month, we do boxes of muffins and send them out to the outreach van, so they've got them to pass out. We caught great, you know what, from our health department when we did a huge pot of chili and sent that out with the van some time ago. But a friend of mine was managing at the time one of the big subsidized housing and social housing things. And he called me and said it must have been really good chili because usually a lot of it ends up on the walls. And everybody ate it. So I guess my cooking wasn't quite that bad. But it's been a lot of fun. And when I migrated over to the E-Club, the first thing my Terra Club said was, "Oh my God, what's going to happen with this project?" I said, well, it's real easy. We'll just keep doing it jointly, you know. So every first Saturday of the month, we bake huge numbers of muffins, and one of my buddies from the other club comes over, and we have a nice social time, and he delivers the muffins down, and away we go. So yeah, it's been a really good project.
Great example of what, you know, as an E-Club too, community services can be done in our communities, and something like that is easy. There's very little to no money involved, and probably get a real good rapport with the families out there.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun, and a lot of things that have come out of that. And for instance, my old Terra Club does a wine festival, and I can give all the information, but it raises on average around $31,000 to $33,000 in one evening. Now, a lot of planning, of course,
right?
But so I'm involved in that. And I think I sent Peter a note, and Ellie, who obviously is in the air right now. I have a friend who used to be involved in one of the White Horse clubs and wants to get involved. And when I was explaining our E-Club, I think I sent her the information, or she asked for the information a little too late. But she'll be appearing, I hope, on Thursday morning in this, and she has quite an interest in joining. And for those that don't know, the 2 White Horse clubs that have been traditionally in 5010, which includes Alaska and the Yukon, the 2 clubs in White Horse have decided that that's just not working. So they have petitioned, and I believe accepted, into coming over to 5370. So we'll now have more Yukoners to make snow jokes at.
And so, Viswanath, do you make those kind of jokes too? Or what? Or you have other jokes about that?
Oh, it's always warm and sunny and young.
We do. We do. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, but are you involved with any local projects as well? You know, and maybe not necessarily as Rotary, but also, you know, yourself in your community, and maybe some of the other communities out in the Northwest Territories and the Yukon. How's that?
Of course I am. As you know, basically, as you know, I am actually accountant by profession. So a lot of my work comes with my profession. So in my association, of course, I do a lot of volunteer work In other words, so currently I'm serving as the vice chair of the CPA, NWT, and Nunavut. And also, I am actually chair of the Public Practice Committee, Northeast State Nunavut. That's what I actually present the CPA Canada. That's where I was actually last 2 days. I was in Vancouver. Just came yesterday night. I was actually doing that work. So through that network, like say, we actually, in my capacity, what I do, any organization, like it could be an NGO or it could be a private enterprise, wherever I think our skill set can help them to get that things done, we actually advise them. Even in our profession, if we see somebody needs an advice, we even provide free advice. So in other words, in our community, in our skill set, whatever matches with our skill set, we always do that. That's what it is. So of course, I don't involve now, but in fact, I was in the City of Yellowknife Audit Committee. Of course, now I am not there because I have too much other things going on. And then, of course, helping the community. Like say, for example, when newcomers come in Yellowknife, a lot of people actually contact us and we actually help them settle in Yellowknife. In fact, there was an immigrant who came to us, even myself. They were actually in my house even up to 6 months, and we made them make sure they kind of get settled in Yellowknife, and we helped them. So we have been involved in that kind of helping people, newcomers in Yellowknife. We have been involved in that project too. So that's really not an organized way, but one-to-one basis, but still a help to the community, right? So in other words, what I'm trying to tell, I'm involved heavily in our professional community, which is and in the past, I may not have mentioned that actually I served as president of the CG Association for 2 years in the past. And I'm actually in the board for last 14 years. Just not, I worked as treasurer, I worked in the board, I am still in the board, I am still executive committee. So that's professional committee, I'm heavily involved. And of course, I'm involved in the community in a social work as well.
Do you see that there is opportunities that, we as a club could get involved more?
I think so.
What do you think?
Well, I think so, because from the Rotary E-Club, I'm not sure whether you are aware of or not. I actually, when Rotary Club was actually doing a book project, or in other words, they were sending books from Yellowknife, I actually personally carried the books to Fort Providence, Fort Resolution, Taktuaktuk, Aklavik, Inuvik. I personally took the books and given to the libraries, and they all appreciated. Even some pictures were taken, it was there. When the Lynn was doing this project in Taktuaktuk, actually I talked to their housing manager. I got Lynn introduced with them because she needed some support in the community Taktuaktuk, which David may need now. So I actually got her introduced to the housing manager and made some arrangements, even some conference with the housing manager, so that the project we are doing, that can be successful and she can get some more support. The lady actually is there, Audrey. So she was having some communication gap there. So that's what I got her introduced to the local housing manager there, because I said, well, everybody comes for housing, because in the northern communities, 95% of the public, actually 99% of the people actually live in public housing. So when you need the housing manager, very much you know everybody. That's how I say, okay, because we do lots of audit around that area. So I got her introduced, and she said that was going very good, and I can do the same thing again.
Right.
So because I'll be more than being in Rotary, so definitely I'm working on getting a kind of a chart done, what kind of contribution I can make and do through Rotary going forward.
Yes, that's awesome. And Janet, that's where things will be working together. Janet is interested in working with the DPIL as well, and so I think we can grow that whole process of delivering books, not only just to kids, but for others, for adults possibly too. So fantastic. Thank you very much, Biswanath, about that. But
thank you.
You guys, both Ethan, and you do visit then many smaller communities throughout the country as well, and do the work there. Ethan?
Oh, yes. We travel extensively. I think in 3 weeks, I'll be off to, where's the first spot I'm off to. I think it's Toloiwak, off to Toloiwak, and also a scheduled trip to where's the other place I'm going? Paulatuck through Inuvik. So there's ample opportunity to kind of disseminate the message and bring support for various projects into the remote communities, because we're in there all the time.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Okay, we're coming to an end, but anybody else has something else burning that they want to bring up?
Ron wants to ask a question of our Whitehorse guys.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the most interesting airports or airstrips I've ever landed at was Braeburn, just about 110 kilometers to the north of Whitehorse. They have incredible bran muffins. They must have been
cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns, yes, that's right.
Cinnamon buns are like this.
That's right. And
you buy one for a family of 4 for the week. It's their trademark. The same thing. We were there one night, and a couple truckers came in and ordered a couple hamburgers. And Steve, who's an old friend of mine who runs the place, he said, "I think you should be ordering one hamburger for both of you." And these are 2 big burly truckers. They thought it was hilarious. So he made 2 hamburgers, and they took most of them back to the trucks because they couldn't. It's a great place.
An interesting side note to that was that the RCMP really had their eye on that, because there was the potential for the development of drugs as a stop-off point from Alaska into
No. There a lot of it's an urban myth in Whitehorse that because it's so remote and the landing, you can drive for 40 minutes south or 40 minutes north and there's nothing, but there's this little roadhouse and an airstrip. So a lot of people think that it's drug related, and I mean, as a veterinarian, and Peter knows, I've done kennel calls, I've done farm calls, and trust me, I know where every operation is in the territory. And that ain't one of them.
Well, I've landed there many times. It's an excellent little airport, and I just love those cinnamon buns.
Well, you want to know where the drugs really move in Whitehorse. As most of you know, the strip between Canada and the United States is cleared in about a 20-foot thing. So the mushers come in from Alaska, and they camp on that 20-foot strip. The mushers then come in from Yukon, they do their exchange, and they go back. So really, they never left their own country. And that, but we did have one that Tammy and I are chatting on the side here. We had information at one point that there was a truckload of drugs coming up the highway, and members were following it all the way up. And the guy had built a huge treehouse in his backyard in Dawson City. And one of the members with a sense of humor decided to have a little fun with it. So during the night, he climbed up into the treehouse and made himself comfortable. And as the guy came out in the morning to retrieve his drugs, there was a uniformed RCMP member sitting there welcoming aboard. So yeah, it's a great place for that.
Oh, I just love the North. I could live up there.
Well, at least come up and visit, guys.
I do. I'm there all the time.
I know it's always amazing. You know, people spend their lives to retire and a lifelong dream to come north, and yet we live here. You know, Biswaneth, and you know, it's a great place. And people say, "Oh, when you're retired, when you go back to." No, I'm
we
not
were there for
back.
July 1st last year.
In Marsh Lake.
We were there for July 1st.
Oh, in Dawson City. Yeah, that's right.
No, in Whitehorse this year.
In Whitehorse this time. Yeah.
Well, one of the greater northern stories, which you'll all laugh at, but Biswaneth knows, the federal government sent all sorts of fireworks to all sorts of different municipalities for Canada Day. We have virtually 24 hours of daylight on Canada. Nobody worked this one out.
Yes. If you ever run into Peter or Karen Jenkins at
Peter is one of my closest friends. He just had a lung transplant, if you're aware of that.
Well,
he spent almost a year in Toronto. I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he's looking 110% better.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he had a single lung transplant at Toronto General, my old alma mater.
Oh, well.
I used to work on that team.
Yeah, mention Ron Brown. He'll remember me because I'm the guy that's up there all the time. He usually gives me the presidential suite for in the hotel, so that's great.
Before he was married to Karen, I'll tell another quickie. If you've been in the Eldorado Hotel, which is for sale, by the way, which is his hotel in Dawson City, he built a little thing that came off of it with a nice little suite in the back, which is probably what you're talking about.
That's the one.
Well, if you know Peter, long before he married Karen, that was where he took his girlfriends.
Oh, that's where you took me.
Oh, that's where I took Judy.
Yeah. Then he married Karen, and it was game over. Game over.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, it's we love the North. We're great lovers of the North. We just travel all over. I don't have an airplane anymore, but I'll find a way of getting up there.
You're darn well better. Let me know. We'll meet you anywhere you are.
Good stuff. Well,
okay, good.
That's it. It's over
okay, very good. Now, this is just awesome, my friends, because this is just what it's all about. And, you know, we learn about a new member and her classification. We got a new member as well, and we have a lot of friendships and invitations and stuff like that happening. And with the diversity from around the globe, you know, from Europe to New Zealand, and, you know, Dominican Republic stop off, and Mexico, and the North in Canada, etc. And there happens to be somebody just north of Edmonton also, Jim Ferguson, at you know, also as well. So okay, I would like to thank you all for coming, and for participating, and for a great meeting. And we know, it will be by tomorrow. It will be on YouTube, and you can show everybody what a great time we had. Thank you all so much. I'm just hang on. I'm on. Hang on.
Okay, bye now.
I'm stopping the recording.